Hey dear learners, welcome back to e-learning platform of GS College of Commerce, Wardha. I'm Assistant Professor Rajeshwari Sharma and this lecture is for the BCom Semester 6 for subject Advanced Statistics. So today in this lecture, we are going to deal with a numerical problem which is associated with test of consistency of index number. In previous lecture, we have seen the meaning of test of consistency of index number and we have seen by using the Fisher-Seidel index number formula how it is satisfied. Okay, so in this lecture we are going to see the numerical implication of this problem. So let's begin. Here we have been given a question where we have been asked to compute index number by using Fisher's formula and to show that whether this formula satisfies the time reversal test and factor reversal test. Okay, so here we have been given a data and with the help of this data we have to compute this component which we have been asked in the question. So let's begin. Let's try to understand the data. Here we have been given the data of 2 years, right? We have been given 4 commodities and for 4 commodities we have been given quantity and prices for the 2 years, that is for the year 2016 and for the year 2017. So here we will consider 2016 as our base year and 2017 as our current year. Okay, so this is going to be Q0 and this is going to be P0. It will be Q1 and it will be P1 because base year, prices of base year and the quantity of base year is represented by 0 and the prices of current year and the quantities of current year are represented by 1. That is why we have given this Q0, P0 and Q1, P1 over here. Okay. Now, with the help of this information, we have to compute some components which need to be put into the formula. So let's begin with it. First of all, we have to compute P0, Q0. Now, what is the meaning of P0, Q0? P0, Q0 refers to the product of prices of base year and the quantities of base year. So for commodity A, P0 is 10 and Q0 is 12. So 10 into 12, it will be 120. After that, for B commodity, it is 15 into 7. It is 15 into 7. It comes to 101. For C, it is 24 into 5. 24 into 5. It comes to 120 again. After that, it is 5 into 16. 5 into 16. So it comes to 80. After that, we have to do the same thing for the P1, Q1. Here we have been asked to compute the product of prices of current year and the quantities of current year. So for commodity A, it will be 12 into 15. 12 into 15. It will become 180. After that, for commodity B, it's 5 into 20. So it will become 100. After that, for commodity C, it is 9 into 20. It will again become 180. After that, 14 into 5. So it will become 70. 14 into 5. It will become 70. This way, we have computed the values to be put in the P1, Q1 column as well. Now we have to compute the value which needs to be put under the P0, Q1. P0, Q1 means the product of prices of base year and quantity of current year. So it's P0, here is P0 and here is Q1. Okay, P0, Q1. So 10 into 15. For commodity A, it will be 10 into 15. 150. For commodity B, 7 into 20. 140. After that, C, 5 into 20. 100. After that, D, 16 into 5. 80. So this way, we have computed the P0, Q1 as well. Now we have to compute it by using P1 and Q0. P1 refers to the prices of current year and Q0 refers to the quantity of the base year. So it's going to be P1 into Q0. Okay. So for commodity A, it's 12 into 12, 144. For commodity B, it's 5 into 15. 5 into 15. So it comes to 75. For commodity C, it's 9 into 24. 9 into 24. It comes to 216. And for commodity D, it is 14 into 5. So it again comes to 70. Okay. So 120 plus 105 plus 120 plus 80. It comes to 425. Summation P0 Q0 is equals to 425. After that, summation P1 Q1. So it is 180 plus 100 plus 180 plus 70. It comes to 530. Okay, it comes to 530. Summation P1 Q1 is equals to 530. After that, P0 Q1. So it is 150 plus 140 plus 100 plus 80. It comes to 470. So summation P0 Q1 is equals to 470. After that, summation P1 Q0. So here it will be 144 plus 75 plus 216. 144 plus 75 plus 216 plus 70. It comes to 505. So this way we have computed the summation of all the columns. Now what we have to do? First of all, we have to compute index number by using Fisher's ideal index number method. Fisher's ideal index number method. Okay. So what is the formula? P01 is equals to under root summation P1 Q0 upon summation P0 Q0 into summation P1 Q1 upon summation P0 Q1 into 100. This 100 is going to be outer side of the under root. So what is the value of P1 Q0? P1 Q0, it's 505. 505. What is the value of P0 Q0? It is 425. 425. What is the value of P1 Q1? 530. And what's the value of P0 Q1? It is 470 into 100. After that we have to simplify it. 505 into 425. 505 divided by 425. It comes to 1.1882. 1.1882. Okay. 530 divided by 470. It comes to 1.1277. 1277 into 100. Okay. So some under root 1.1882 multiplied by 1.1277. It comes to and when we are going to find out the value of under root of this, so we get 1.1576, okay, into 100. So 1.1576 into 100, it comes to 115.76. Okay, 115.76. So this is the index number by using Fisher's ideal index number method. Okay. Now what we have to find out? We have to find out that whether this method, whether this index number satisfies both the test or not. So first one is time reversal test. TRT. What is the formula for the satisfaction of the time reversal test? It is P01 into P10 should be equals to 1. So first of all, what's the formula for computing P01? So it is summation P1 Q0 upon summation P0 Q0 into summation P1 Q1 upon summation P0 Q1. Okay. P0 into P01 into P10. That is why I am writing here formula to compute P10. Okay. So it's going to be the reciprocal of this formula. So it will become summation P0 Q0 upon summation P1 Q0 into summation P0 Q1 upon summation P1 Q1. Okay. So this is the formula is equals to 1. Now we are going to put the values. Okay. And we'll see whether it will become equal P equals to 1 or not. So summation P1 Q0 P1 Q0 505 divided by summation P0 Q0 425 multiplied by summation P1 Q1 530 divided by summation P0 Q1 470 multiplied by summation P0 Q0 425 summation P1 Q0 505 multiplied by summation P0 Q1 470 upon summation P1 Q0 505, right? P1 Q0 sorry summation P1 Q1 530 is equals to 1, should be equals to 1. Okay. So here this 505 in numerator and 505 in denominator would get cancelled. 425 in numerator and 425 in denominator will also get cancelled. 530 in numerator, 530 in denominator will also get cancelled. 470 in denominator and 470 in numerator will also get cancelled. So here we are left with under root 1. Okay, is equals to, it should be equal to 1. So under root 1 would be equals to 1, and here it will also be equals to 1. Means here when we have computed the value of summation P01, here we have computed the value of P01 into P10, so we have got 1, and it is equal to unity, that is 1. That is why we can say that this Fisher Seidel index number method is satisfying the time reversal test. Okay. Now what we have to see? Now we have to see whether this test satisfies the factor reversal test or not. Whether this formula satisfies the factor reversal test or not. Okay. So what is the formula for satisfying factor reversal test? So here FRT would be satisfied by this formula. What is that formula? P0 into Q0, P01 into Q01 should be equals to P1 Q1 upon P0 Q0. Okay. If this condition gets satisfied, then we will say that factor reversal test has also got satisfied. So how do we find P01? Okay. How do we find P01? So P01 would be summation P01 would be equals to summation P1 Q0 upon summation P0 Q0 multiplied by summation P1 Q1 upon summation P0 Q1. Okay. So this is the formula for computing P01. How do we compute Q01? Q01 means quantity index number. How do we find it? So we are going to just reverse the factors. Like instead of P here we will write Q, and instead of Q we will write P, and everything rest would remain same. So Q01 is equals to Q1 P0 upon Q0 P0 into Q1 P1 upon Q0 P1. Okay, so this way we have written the formula to compute P01 into Q01. Okay, now we have to put the values over here. So P1 into Q0, P1 into Q0, it's 505. 505 upon P0 Q0, P0 Q0, 425 multiplied by P1 Q1, so P1 Q1, 530 upon summation P0 Q1, P0 Q1, 470 up into Q1 P0. Q1 P0 means this P0 Q1. Okay, so it will come to 470. 470 upon Q0 P0 means this P0 Q0, 425. After that Q1 P1 means this P1 Q1. It will become 530 upon Q0 P1. Q0 P1. So it will again comes to 505. Okay, 505, and it should be equal to Q1. It should be equal to P1 Q1, that is 530 upon P0 Q0, 425. Okay, so when we are going to cut the stems, like 505 and 505 will get cancelled. 425, 470 and 470 will also get cancelled. Okay, now we are remaining with 530 and 425, 425. Okay, means 530 into 530 upon 425 into 425. Okay, it should be equals to 530 upon 425. So these numbers are in under root. When we are going to now what we have to do, we have to find the value of this under root. So when we are going to find the value of this under root, so we will get 530 upon 425 into 530 upon 425, which is going to be equals to this 530 upon 425. So here P01 into Q01 is equals to P1 Q1 upon P0 Q0. That is why here we can say that the factor reversal test is also being satisfied by using Fisher's ideal index number method. Okay, so this way we have completed the test of consistency of index number over here. In next lecture we are going to deal with the next aspect. Till then, stay safe, keep going through the lectures for your better understanding, and in case of any doubt, please contact us. Thank you.